Got you. Okay. So, all right. So that's how you got on the card. And again, the one thing that a lot of the boxing public don't know, and especially I like to talk about the casuals too, because really the goal is to get your name out to where people that love boxing is going to know you, and people that don't going to know you. One thing, there was really a big misnomer is that all fighters and all fighters know who they're fighting, and all fighters are able to have 8-week camps. I think that's something that a lot of people take for granted. So what was it like? How was it like for you knowing that literally that card was an all welterweight card? There were 3 different matches on there. So you are in camp preparing for literally 6 different guys. Like what's the mindset when you kind of can't finger a person as your opponent? Like, how do you stay focused and prepared for that?
I mean, what you do is like you think about like when we used to fight and when I used to fight as an amateur, when we used to fight amateurs and we fought in the tournaments or whatever, you didn't really know who you might fight the next day. You might fight 4 days in a row, 3 or 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly who you're gonna fight each day, so the thing is, honestly, for me, I didn't have a set opponent, but it didn't for me. I was cool with that because I didn't have to worry about any best laid plans. My main focus was making sure I was as sharp as I could be. You know what I mean? Sharp as I could be. You know what I'm saying? Working hard. Like I'm just like the arsenal I have. I'm just I'm just cleaning. I'm just polishing all that up. And we getting ready to go to work. So it wasn't for me. It was like one of the easier camps. Like it was one of the easier camps, and mentally, just because we don't have to prepare for anything. It's not like what if he hits you with that. It's just like just get out of the way of that. Make sure. All right. So if you try to learn that, make sure you ain't susceptible to it. We're gonna roll this way, counter like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting my tools in the I'm just putting my tools in the bag, just having them ready, and not really trying to counteract something that somebody else is doing now. Like even with fights, even in past fights where I knew who I had, we would work. You know what I'm saying? Towards beating them, but but we wouldn't do that. I mean, I don't think any fighter should. Don't sacrifice what you do well because they're getting ready for you the same way you're getting ready for them. I see a lot of times in boxing and in like MMA, you see a guy he's preparing totally for this guy. So what if your opponent pulls out of the fight and now you have to on a couple days or maybe a couple weeks notice you got to switch everything up. You were preparing for a guy that applies a lot of pressure. Now you got a boxer. If you prepare specifically for one person, or if you specifically for one style, something like that happens, and
Exactly.
you dead in the water, then you gonna be the one like, nah, man, I was getting ready for this dude. Nah, I'm not fighting him, and then the whole card gets canceled. So
Exactly.
my whole thing is just to stay ready.
And exactly. And I think, and now, and it's funny because, like I said, sir, everything happened for a reason. And I believe it was a reason that happened like that because let's just say you was fighting that guy from the beginning. Either way, it was not that much footage on him anyway. He was only like 3-0, 4-0, and his opponents was nowhere near your class anyway. So we didn't have much to go off anyway. I'm a guy that like to watch tape a lot.
Yeah.
So he didn't have that much tape on him anyway. So really, so now moving past that, obviously we already know what happened in the fight. You won 11 of the 12. If we're being generous of the rounds to him, you maybe give him one round if you want to, maybe the first or the second, what people like to say. So that happens. The fight goes on how it goes on. The results get announced. What are you thinking like immediately when they say his name? Like, what's going on in your head? Like, obviously on TV we could see the shock in your face, but what's going on in your head? Like looking around at the crowd and seeing the people and having this news dropped on you like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was like dumbfounded for real.